folks, we are live. I'm just waiting on the stream to start on Facebook, and I'm going to talk about one of my favorite sort of like personal development magic tricks. Listen, you ever been mad? You ever been like pissed off? I'm going to talk about it here in just a second. We'll make sure this is live on Facebook. Facebook, you now are able to hear this amazing, wonderful broadcast. I'm sure you're going to think it's all of that. As you can see, if you know me, I got a little bit of a new set here. You can see my hands move and all this kind of stuff. Well, here's the deal. I want to get right to it because I got a meeting I got to get to in about 15 minutes. I want to talk about this magic trick for solving almost any problem. This is kind of a counterintuitive way of thinking about this, but I've spent a lot of time studying this and understanding it, and it's really, really important. And I can tell you, it's the number one thing that anybody can do to improve their life. I said that as kind of a soundbite, right? But if I think back on it and try to challenge that statement, I have a hard time challenging it and saying it's not the number one thing. Many people are going to tell you that go take action and do the thing is the number one thing. And I would have to agree, right? Like action is certainly one of the most important things, but action does require a certain amount of strategy. It doesn't require nuanced strategy, but it does require certain amounts. And, action has to be, to be effective, you have to have certain amounts of information. So can you solve any problem just by taking effective action towards it? The answer is probably true. But we have this thing called consciousness, right? We have this human brain, this mind, if you believe in more spiritual things, this soul and this spirit that informs the way that we move through the world. Check this out. I want to play with my new studio. So I'm going to get serious here for a second. We're going to flip a camera angle on you, and I could stare straight into the camera and say, I believe this is the number one way for people to start to change their lives. And it's very counterintuitive. Everybody thinks that if there's a problem, you have to charge hard at it first and foremost. No doubt you have to take action to solve a problem. But this isn't in place of action. This is what you do before you take action. I'm going to say it, and you're going to go, come on, Josh, really? But hear me out on this. I'll explain it and build the context. Here's the punchline. The number one way to change things in your life is to let go of wanting to control them. Full stop. Life is not as controllable as we like to think it is in the act of wanting to control it, wanting to manhandle it into these tight little regions, or saying it can only be this way, or it should be this way, or all of these things. We have an emotional load that is associated with that want to control. Right? The easiest way to determine if you're in a state of wanting to control conversation fight, it could just be an internal struggle and resistance, right? You know the feeling of wanting something to be different than it is. Gosh, I wish this wasn't this way. I wish that I could be better at this. I wish that the life was just easier this way, or like I wish that God would answer my prayer. Like whatever it is, those are all wanting things to be different than they are. Understand, I'm not saying that things shouldn't be different than they are. I'm not saying just accept your life and be peaceful with it and let go of your ambitions. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the feeling wow, I was like full in on this, and it's like we lost the stream on everything. Let's see if it came back. I don't think that it did. Huh. Okay. I think I'm back now. I apologize, guys. That was like I was in the flow on it and it just. Now listen, this is a perfect example. I could be upset about this because I'm trying to do a live video and make a point, and I can want to change it. I could want it to be different than it is. Like, hey, what's the sorry, I got to flip to. I can't see what I'm flipping here. There we go. I could be frustrated about it and go, man, I was trying to do this stream and make a point, and like people would be so much better off if they heard it, and like I can want to change that all I want. That's not going to help anything. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to do anything for anybody if I just want to change it. Right? There's an old saying that's like want in one hand and crap in the other and see which one gets you further. Right? It's because wanting does nothing. It's the illusion of thinking we are in line with the right thoughts and actions in motion. The problem is that wanting is a roadblock to the flow and stream of consciousness. So if we were to take this for a minute and tear it apart and look at wanting in this way, right? If I want something, it means I don't have it. Now, you can't say the flip side of that, Josh. Well, like, if I just not want it, does that mean that I have it? No, but it means that you're open to it, right? So that's a very different thing. I'm open to having it is different than wanting it. Now, we get caught up on language, and I've talked about this in the past. It's been quite a while, but like language is like a really kind of inefficient way for us to articulate the nuances of our feelings, right? So what I'm doing is creating a dissection between wanting here and being open to having, right? And you can do this in the most interesting way. You can look at your cell phone right now, set it on the table in front of you. I've got mine right here. You can look at the cell phone and go, okay, I want my cell phone in my hand. Want it as hard as you can possibly want it. And you can see that it's blocking you from the most obvious thing in the world, which is to just reach over and pick it up, because the energy of being open to, or having a thing in your life is as simple as being open enough to actually execute on it and make it a reality. Wanting stops that execution. Whether you think it does or not, whether like you could push back on it and be like, well, Josh, I don't know because of this. I promise you all that's happening with that is that you're getting caught up on a piece of language, not the actual reality of it, right? Everybody who is struggling is in a state of wanting, because struggling through being open to get is simply just climbing the ladder of getting there, right? So like that's a struggle through action. Like I need to get to the next person, so I'll just go get to the next person. If it's like, oh, I got stuck and now I want it to be different, that stops the flow of everything and it creates negative emotion all the way down. If you're struggling mentally, emotionally in life with anything, it's because you're wanting something to be different most of the time. There's other layers that it could be, right? You could want things like approval, you could want things like safety or security, but all of those things, if you're not getting them, come back to wanting it to change in some way, wanting it to be different, right? So whatever psychological wound we could talk about in a much deeper conversation, this is why it's a magic trick, because the idea of letting go of wanting it to change opens you back up to being open to it changing, right? The two things are diametrically opposed, and it's not obvious when we go through our life, because of course, like, why wouldn't you want it to change? It's not good. Like, whatever it is, you want it to be different for a reason. But there's a difference between emotionally, mentally, psychologically wanting and needing it to be different and being open to it being different. So here's the trick. It's as simple as this. I want something to change in my life. I want a project to move smoother. I want to not fight with the person I'm fighting with. I want to I want to rearrange the furniture in the house, but I haven't done it yet. It doesn't matter what the want is in that case. Chances are it's not going to get better until you're open enough to get better. In fact, a big part of therapy, a big part of like the entire psychological industry is to get people open enough to change. It's to let go of this one thing. Could you let go of your want for it to be a certain way in such refined categories and to be offended about everything, to open up to what your partner's actually saying? That's marriage counseling in a nutshell, right? I hate to oversimplify it, but that's what it is. Everybody right now, today, can do what I'm about to tell you. Think of the thing you want to change the most. Feel it. Feel how that feels to want it to change, and ask yourself, if you were able to, could you just let go of feeling that way? Like, could you just drop it? Could you just take it, like, let go? Could you just do that with it emotionally? There's another function within our body that we don't know about, because it's not fingers and hands where we can physically grab things. It's this other constriction that we do with our emotions. And it's actually a muscle, if you think about it, right? Like, it's not literally a muscle, like it's not, protein tissue or whatever, but it's a muscle in effect that we use it how we choose to use it. Most of us are never taught this, but you can simply take that thing that's tight and just go, what if I could just let go of it? Right? So you can let go, and let's say it gets more intense. You go, great. Could I allow this to feel like it feels, be like it is, not try to change it? Could I just be open to it being here, feeling the way that it feels? And then could I let go of wanting to control it, change it, or do anything? You see how that's just continually layering down wanting to control it? Every time you encounter a want to change, let go of wanting to change it to be open to receiving it, right? And I don't mean receiving in the sense of like, the secret and in the universe providing and stuff. Although, listen, this cascades into all that stuff, but that's not what I'm trying to sell you on here. What I'm trying to sell you on is the premise that if you want something to be different, you are very likely holding it back from actually becoming a reality. And it's through this process of how we constrict in our own mental, emotional states, and how we can go, what if I just let go of wanting to control it, and I let life carry out in a way that I'm open to receiving it? What does that feel like? What's that difference? And once you start to do this enough, right? Some of you will get this in the first 2 minutes you try it. Some of you might have to work on it for the day, right? Like, just turn it into a practice that you do routinely. You'll start to notice the difference of what it is to be open to something coming into fruition, and what that emotional space is like, how you feel in your thoughts and your head, your feelings, your emotions, your body, the constriction in your body. You'll start to notice all these things, and good God, it's your mind, it's your body, it's your heart, it's your spirit, it's your soul, it's your consciousness. Shouldn't you have some understanding of the mechanics of how you can use it to your advantage? This is the magic trick. This is the key that unlocks the door. If you ask me, if there was one piece of advice, like one thing that I could tell anybody about anything, it is let go of your need or want to control the situation you're in, and you will automatically have more control. The reason is because it goes back to what Einstein said, right? You can't solve a problem from the same mindset that created it. So if you're in a situation where you're stuck and you're going, and you go back into this negative space, like, you're not going to control your way out of that problem. You have to be open to the new solution. There's a fantastic movie that illustrates this really, really well, and it's called The Martian. The Martian was with Matt Damon. I think it was a Ridley Scott film. Fantastic movie. And at the end of that movie, Matt Damon is giving a talk, not to spoil it for anybody. It's a wonderful movie, whether I say this or not. Like, this isn't spoiling a thing. At the end of that movie, there's a question that he's asked while he's talking in front of a group of students. And they said, like, what was it like being on Mars? And he says, listen, like, you have to just look at the problem in front of you and solve one problem at a time, and then solve the next, and then solve the next. At any point of wanting it to be different immediately goes into the taking on the full emotional weight of the implications of what it means to be there. Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, talks about this in different degrees with his time in the prison camps, right? Like, he said, your mind is the most valuable thing that nobody else can control. I'm paraphrasing, but it comes down back to this same concept of, like, if I'm not stuck in wanting to change, I'm open to new possibilities. Therefore, it can change. New information comes about. Your brain attacks it a different way. You're not looking through this lens of want, need, give me, give me, give me. You actually can look at it through this lens of, what would it be like if there was the possibility that I could actually experience that? Let me, like, get curious about it. Let me get interested in that idea and see where that takes me. That's flowing down the river of consciousness. The other one is creating a dam letting it build up and you feel the pressure of it, that creates depression, sadness, all of these other things. I promise you, play with this. I wouldn't be making a video about it if it wasn't something I take very seriously. I can tell you it's part of my daily reality no matter what. I was just in a very frustrated state in contentious conversation before I got on this video. I let go of wanting to control it. I let go of wanting it to be different than it is. And I'm here able to do a video like this, even though minutes before I was in an absolute frustration, right? Like really freaking mad about something because it's my emotions. Nobody makes our emotions for us. We make those emotions ourselves. Understanding the mechanism starts with understanding the concept of letting go of wanting it to change, letting go of wanting to control it, wanting to be different, being open to it actually being the way that I want to live, you want to live, right? I want to live in a happier, more free emotional state. So when these contentious moments happen, I need to get out of them as fast as possible. The only way to do that is to be open back to the flow of wonderful consciousness and happy emotions. That means I have to let go of the other thing to be here. So you just let it go. And I know it sounds so simple, like, oh, okay, Josh, just let it go. Like, this is like Happy Gilmore asking the ball if it's too good for its home, right? You're too good for your home, get in the hole, right? Like, no, you let it go because you have the ability to do it. It's not like a fantasy thing. It's not I called it a magic trick, but it's not literally magic. It's literally you just understanding a part of yourself that you might not at the moment. Let go. It's okay. It's all going to be okay. The problem is going to be the problem whether you dwell in wanting to be different or you're open to the possibility of solutions. Either way, the problem is still the problem. Would you rather have a solution, be open to a solution, or close off with wanting it and feeling all the weight of depression, frustration, anger, sadness, whatever negative emotion gets associated? It's up to you. I just gave you a tool. If you take it seriously, it can change your freaking life. Like, I don't say that lightly. It can change your freaking life. So do it. I got to hop on another call. I appreciate y'all. Let me know if you have some success with this. I'd love to hear your story. Take care.